Hi, my name is Victor and I'm CEO of Missing Link.
My name is Tuukka Söslahti. I'm one of the co-founders of a company called FabricAI.
My name is Jukka Sjöstedt. I'm the CEO of Radientum.
We do wireless interferences detection systems. So we detect wireless interferences in critical wireless networks in real time. And we do that by using our own hardware and software.
And with FabricAI, we remove one of the most tedious tasks in accounting, which is the purchase invoice processing. And what we aim to do with our company is we try to automate the purchase invoice processing as much as possible.
Radientum is expert in wireless communication. We are doing antenna design with simulation tools. We have an antenna testing chamber here in Tampere, Hervanta. And basically we are doing as a service, engineering service to other companies, designing custom antennas. So devices like wearable, like smart rings, smart watch, smartphones, lots of IoT devices, and also medical devices like implants. So we are part of the customer's R&D team as an antenna and RF experts.
Well, that was a mistake. So the idea came originally from head of department at ICT in University of Applied Science. So there was this head of department of ICT, and he was thinking of getting surveillance system, but relies on GSM or some other telecommunications to send the alarm message. And he was asking me a silly question that can he trust it? And I said that no way. That it's just too easy to go and bypass the whole system. And I told him about jammers, takes control of the network from the specific area. And then he was asking that, can you avoid it? Can you actually avoid or even detect wireless interferences? And I said that, well, you cannot avoid it, but I have to think about detecting it. So I thought about it for that weekend, and when I was driving back from my parents, I called him on a Sunday and said that, yeah, I have a solution for it.
Idea for FabricAI came from actually one accounting office, one pretty big accounting office. Jarkko and Juhani were providing this travel expense application for them, which they were operating back then. And they got feedback from the accounting office that the purchase invoice process would be a lot bigger problem for them to tackle than this travel expense project that they were offering a solution back then. And it was something that then Jarkko and Juhani, they started exploring that a little bit more, and then they started working on that problem, and then we actually founded FabricAI on that basis pretty much. It's been quite the journey on the customer's needs from the starting point.
Got the idea 2005 when Microsoft laid off lots of people, and Janne and Mikko was part of that. They got the idea that Mikko could sell and Janne could design, so they started the company. So it was a brave thing to do from these two guys, and then soon after the more people joined to the company. For me, it was 2016, I was laid off a year after that, when Mikko and Janne was. Then the guys actually asked that would like to join the company as a CEO. Yeah, that was a difficult thing for me because I didn't think about that. I was doing 17 years of mobile phones, different kind of tasks and roles in the company. I have learned the corporate way, so jumping into the startup, which has actually revenue at that point after 1 year already. And I think the team was back then 5 people. I was the 6th person to join the company. Well, eventually then I made the decision to join, and I haven't regret that one.
Well, there's lots of drivers to Tampere to be bigger as a startup. ecosystem, there is the pricing. As a city, it's not the biggest one, but then again, price point for the startups, since we are always broke, it's a great place to be. You can rent affordable houses, you can buy affordable houses, you can buy or rent affordable office spaces or operational spaces. You have Tampere has a good team behind it. They seems to understand different variables and drivers. Being a startup, even though that they have currently limited resources, they are making the most of it. They're using money well. I can see the development paces, where they are now and where are they going to be in the next 3 years. It's based in Finland, so Finnish market itself, it's a good place to be for certain type of startups. Then again, since we have lots of technological advantages in the area, we have lots of knowledge from the schools and from the actual accomplished businesses. We have open-minded businesses here. They are keen to be a part of startup journey. So you are getting introductions to the actual customer. So if it would be a bigger as a city, we would most likely run out of usable criteria. Usually when you're building a startup hub, the first to come, first to serve kind of scheme happens all the time. So that means that if you're too late, the other startups who came before you, they are still there and they are running bigger.
The things we already have in Tampere, because we have Tampere University now with the 3 different schools combined together. There's massive, maybe untapped potential behind that, because it's a lot of the entrepreneurs nowadays are rather young, and there's a lot of entrepreneurial training within the Tampere University. To be honest, I believe that in Tampere we have things pretty good. Tampere is my whole hometown. I love this city. It's I've lived most of my life in Tampere. We have good connections here. We have pretty much everything that people should need.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is the best place in the Finland to have a company. So we have a active city, the smart city, things what city of Tampere is arranging. We have lots of students here, getting a new fresh students. Overall, I couldn't imagine any better place to have a own company than Tampere. Lots of big companies, lots of small companies, lots of students, lots of resources available. So perfect place to start your company.
Well, there is a lot. I'm not an expert. But then again, I would concentrate on being more attractive for other startups across Europe or other places than just Finland. So being a part of some kind of bigger ecosystem of similar kind of places who are running their startup hub and getting some kind of startup trade going on. I mean, every startup has at their roadmap to go global. So what happens when you have proved your product and you want to grow? What advantages the startup ecosystem can give the startup? Well, how about getting exchange program somewhere? So I would do that. I would get some kind of process on the place so that we would have more startups coming into the area, not going all to the Helsinki where it's very expensive, coming to Tampere. And then same thing, getting like tools to our startups to go abroad and grow there in the same kind of environment. So example, if you go to the UK, you don't necessarily want it or have afford to go to London. So how about going, example, Barnsley, which has a similar kind of ecosystem going on, and it's working quite well.
One of the biggest things is how we can bridge the gap between the people from different backgrounds. So, for example, students in TUT from the technical side, how we can get those people connected with people who have a bunch of crazy ideas and are more on the marketing side, perhaps, or on the sales side, and how we can bring those people together and make them share the same dream and actually make it happen. because it's something I personally believe that if you want to do something great, you have to have the right people around you, because it's impossible for one person to know how to do all the different things in high level. So you need to have specialized people who have specialized talents, and that's the starting point on actually how you can build a team that is capable of performing at a really high level and make something great happen. It's of course providing the place to start out with. Usually startups, when they start from zero, they don't have the office space. Where can they find that office space that is at a good location, that is relatively affordable, so they can afford it? Because if you're not creating income and you have to pay X amount of euros every year, you have quite a heavy overhead already in that setup. So I'd say that providing location and creating and nurturing a certain type of atmosphere is really important and crucial. It might come up from bringing the like-minded people together, and not necessarily like-minded, but the people with similar ambitions and goals. That's when something amazing might happen.
Of course, the visibility and the international cooperation. So the more visibility you can provide, whatever means that is, it's always good. In the early days, what I felt challenging was that there was a lots of place where you could get advice. So there was all kind of asymmetry, and then there was a startup community, and then there was some city and Kela and their office. So this was a bit frustrating, that you go somewhere, you get advice, and somebody advises you to do something, and then the different place you get different kind of advice. So that's the thing, that you have to combine this information and make your own decision what you are doing. So if somebody can really make this, let's say, call it bureaucracy, more easier for the startup, it would be much more easier for the first steps to understand how the company should be established, what you have to do, who can help from that. But to attract more, I think it's the visibility, collaboration with the companies, and collaboration with the international accelerator programs or other things. So that makes definitely us attractive. And then of course, positive news, whatever that is.
Yeah. So in Finnish scale, it's a great size and it's growing. I like about that it's kind of young, and I see where it's headed. So it's a great place to be and be part of.
To me, I'd say that the startup ecosystem in Tampere is developing. It's something that, to me, it has in the past 5 to 6 years, there's been quite a few different entities that have been trying to make kind of similar stuff happen in Tampere area. And nowadays, it seems to me that the tribe is kind of taking the throne from all smaller entity. I know a lot of friends who've been like on their entrepreneurial path. They've been working in that space and taking benefits of what tribe has had to offer for them.
I would say this way, that all the things what I have seen and experienced are positive. I would say that is always creating that kind of stronger motivation to drive your own things. Typically when I was in some of the events when there was some key speaker or we were discussing something about entrepreneur or how they are doing, I always try to reflect that to our journey and how we should apply what I'm hearing now to our company. So that is something what at least I have been getting from the other startups.
That's the thing. I mean, at least for us, since we have an office with the open area in Pinkatu, we have good relationships with the startups who are at the same room. We haven't been in so many events that we would know all yet. But then again, if somebody comes and asks for help or tools, either way around, we are going to find a solution. So it's working.
I believe that there's natural connections that happen between startups and companies that, say, are working in the same area, or they have the same expertise. It's usually natural from them to hear about each other and then usually meet with each other and discuss and like share insights. That's a backbone of actually making something nice happen. It's you have to be nice to other people, and if you help other people out, I'm sure they will offer the helping hand on the other hand. So, yeah.
We are helping some other companies and they are helping us, and then we have a really good trust between others, so we don't have to explain what we are specifically doing now for you. They just say that could you do this, and we say yes, and vice versa. So it's really easy working with, so it's about the trust network. Of course I'm participating whenever I have times for the summer, like when they have some speakers. It's always good to meet new people and hear what they have to say. So that's a good thing that somebody is making the effort to bring people here to have a keynote somewhere.